Like, we would talk about that from time to time, like, how do we tell our families, how do we tell our friends? It's like, there's no fucking way. People are saying, what about those people that they kicked out of that house? April and I were supposed to move our family into that house. Ugh. I'm upset about that. She's upset that she thinks I'm a mean guy. She thinks I'm a bad guy. She thinks I've made her life unlivable. Me talking about the arrest on the show has now made her life unlivable. That's what she said. And I said, speaking of children, I said, if you had been home with the children and I, this wouldn't have happened to you. $2 says, April is a little Nick-er. No, that's not. Hey, nothing on the Streamlabs or PayPal, by the way. Let's go ahead and hook that up this morning, huh? Go ahead and throw a few bucks in. All the links are in the chat. BJ with $10 says, April could do a one-on-one intervention podcast series with her friends, Keanu, Matt, Lila, etc., but not Aaron. Yeah, I'll say that I don't think April and I want to have any dealings with each other. I'm a little, people think I'm sore about the way the disco thing ended. You got to remember, I wrote to them and said, I'm not coming back. This has gotten too complicated. It's too weird. I don't enjoy this. I'm going to hang out with my friends. It basically became, I had a choice, unfortunately, because in that lifestyle, you have to, like Kayla said, she goes, I want us to be a family and raise all of our children together. And I'm like, well, I have an ex-wife. That's extremely unworkable for me. And number two, now I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, and I miss this. I want to go back to that. And you can't do both because the world's not going to understand what you guys are trying to pull off. So you're not going to be able to go out. Like, we would talk about that from time to time, like, how do we tell our families? How do we tell our friends? It's like, there's no fucking way to explain that. Without saying anything about the case itself, just talking about my life, people are saying, what about those people that they kicked out of that house? April and I were supposed to move our family into that house. Ugh. Can't do it. Like, reality set in for me at some point, and I'm like, fucking disco is unworkable. And I found I found the texts from Nick last night on my phone. The night I told him, like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm sorry. It was worse. Like, whatever I told you guys, it was way, way worse than the way I remembered it, to be honest with you. Holy shit. But, yeah, I don't think April, if there was this one-on-one intervention podcast series that BJ's talking about, first of all, I don't think April's interested in any of it right now, but she doesn't want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to her. I'm very sore about the arrest because it has put me in a funky spot. Everyone has this thing where they're like, Aaron, all the talking you've done, it's made you a target, this and that. Number one, I already was. Anyone who thinks Aaron made himself a target. No, trust me. I'm not going to say too much. I'm not running my fucking mouth. But believe me, no offense, guys, I know more about it than you do. Trust me. That their behavior got me in a fucked up spot that now I had to navigate my way out of. And, I had to fucking rub dirt on myself. It's like the Walking Dead thing. I had to rub zombie guts on myself to get past the zombies. Wasn't pleasant. So I'm upset with her for that because I warned them. I said all these things. Whatever. Moving on. I'm upset about that. She's upset that she thinks I'm a mean guy. She thinks I'm a bad guy. She thinks I've made her life unlivable. Okay, fine. That's okay. There, my whole thing became there ain't no good guy, there ain't no bad guy. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. Move on. But if there's this one-on-one intervention podcast series, I don't want to be a part of it. She doesn't want me to be a part of it. I've had my intervention series with April. It was extremely painful. I'd rather not go through it again. And make bank gradually tackling her demons and rebuilding bonds with people who care. Can I tell you something? Let me tell you someone who really does care, who really gives a fuck, and is an amazing friend to both of us. And that's Keanu Thompson and Gino Bisconti. Unbelievable friends to both. Gino and Keanu are the walking evidence of what can be when there's a breakup and how to handle the friend thing. If I ever told Keanu in a million years, if I said, hey, it's either April or me, you saw the things she did, Keanu would go, Aaron, no disrespect, go fuck yourself. I may choose April, I may not choose April, but I ain't choosing you because you just said that. She's very good that way. Gino's the same way. If April said the same thing, I don't want you talking to Aaron, she'd probably go, well, go fuck yourself. Because I haven't done anything bad to Keanu. April hasn't done anything bad to Keanu or Gino. And, I will, both of them are straight shooters. Both of them will tell you the truth. Gino a little more directly, but Keanu will as well. But I think April would benefit big time. If they had to do it via a podcast, which maybe I don't think would be the best idea. But I think if April and Keanu did a show together talking about her struggles, talking about where she's been and where she wants to be, I think Keanu would help her immensely. I think that, actually, BJ, I think you do have a good idea there. Lila's maybe someone you bring in later. Lila has to be someone you bring in when you realize you've done wrong and you're willing to atone for your mistakes, because that's where I've been at for the last few months. And I can handle Lila. Lila is 100% a Spitfire. She's tough love all the way. She's an iron fist in a velvet glove. When you're ready to take responsibility, Lila will beat you down and let you know how you fucked up. But I don't think April's at that point yet. Rupert with $4.99 says, why does Kevin Brennan always yell? He's an extremely autistic kid trapped in a 70-year-old body. It's amazing. Honestly, I think it keeps him young. I do. I think the yelling and the shouting and the autism keeps Kevin Brennan ageless, if you ask me. Tanya with $20. Wow, thank you, Tanya, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. She says, hi, Aaron. I'm one of your new viewers. I stuck around because I really do like the content. I have a genuine question. Have you checked on April to see how she is actually coping with everything? Just curious. Thank you. I wrote to April after she got out of jail. And I told her that she needs to get away from those two. I told her I'm glad she was out. I told her I hope she uses it as a second chance to get better. The problem is she doesn't admit to me that there's anything she needs to get better with. She's insistent that none of them apparently have done anything wrong. She said the same thing to me that she DM'd Ethan Ralph, which is kind of gross. She said, my charges were dropped. I'm not an addict. Somebody did this to me, which, again, unfortunately, that sounds like her opening her mouth and Nick Rekieta's voice comes out. She became Little Nick, unfortunately. He got his hooks into her, and now she's got the same copes and the same lack of, dodging responsibility that he does. That's why I think if she gets away from him and hangs out with her mom and dad more, I think she'll become that sweet salt of the earth person that I remember and that her friends remember. But, I mean, there's a caustic edge to her. And it's that dodging responsibility, dodging what you did. That Nick Rekieta fashion, if you will, unfortunately. But as far as, I checked in on her, and it just turned into, it's all my fault. That's what, literally, it turned into, it's all my fault. Me talking about the arrest on the show has now made her life unlivable. That's what she said. It wasn't the fact that she was hanging around them and there was a house full of drugs, guns, and children. It's that I talked about it on my show. Forget the fact, did not even acknowledge. She always liked to use the kids. Once she started disco, she would like to use the kids whenever it was convenient. Never, wasn't around the kids as much anymore. Didn't hang out with the kids as much anymore. But whenever she got sad or got backed into a corner and confronted on something, I love those kids. I love those kids so much. Well, then why'd you leave me alone to have really difficult conversations with them? There's words and there's actions. But, she would talk about the kids a lot, And she got caught in a house full of drugs, guns, and children. And to me, those two things they didn't jive with each other. That's all. So she said, yeah, it's made my life unlivable, this, that, and the other thing. And I finally told her, I said, look, you and I should communicate just through my lawyer. That should be the end of it. Because I don't, this conversation is going nowhere. And I said, speaking of children, I said, if you had been home with the children and I, this wouldn't have happened to you. Point, period, end of story. I mean, you can say whatever you want about me, and Davy Cakes says still, dude, you can't stop any of your impulses. I'm talking about my divorce fuckface, so you can just suck my dick. No offense. Thank you for the $1.99. But you can say whatever you want about me. You can, like, all of the nose guards and all of the sweepers, they hate my guts. I understand you should. You can't live in the world you've created for yourself and think I'm okay. But no matter what you think about me, no matter what you hate about me, anything, two things you can't deny. One, everything that's come out about this thing, I have been right on about, I've told the truth about. Number two, if she had been home with her husband and her stepchildren, none of this would have happened to her. Both of those things are true. That tells me one thing. She made a choice. She didn't want that. That's the long and short of it. That's all. All right, let's, as we continue on here. So the Kevin Brennan offer, look, I'm not going to burst Kevin's bubble. I'm not going to tell him what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, but I don't think he should hold his breath on that $40,000 a year offer. I don't think it would be good for her anyway. I think she should get away from that world, if you ask me. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says all of this could have been avoided if Nick was never part of the October comedy show. You and April never hung out with Nick. Well, look, if what's the old saying? If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass when he hopped. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All this stuff works out. All of this stuff works out the way it was supposed to. My life is moving forward in the way it's supposed to. I've reunited with my parents. I've reunited with a lot of my family members. There's some people who are still very upset with me, and that's totally fair. I've been spending more time with my friends. I've been meeting people who are good for me. These are all good things. Mild's Culture Plate with $2 says, no, the guy wondering what if his ex wasn't a piece of shit. Are you talking about me? Or are you talking about her old? I don't remember who you're talking about. But I don't think anybody's a piece of shit. I think people got demons. I hope those people fix their demons and stop making excuses for them. OOXOO on Rumble says April will be doing OnlyFans next year. I hope not. I really hope not. Look, man. Look, as mad as I am and as disappointed as I am in certain people, you got to admit I've been fair. I've been open. I've been honest. When I first met him, Nick, you might not believe this, Nick and I were really good friends. Like, really good friends. It's just, there were things that we were just too different on. And also, with the things we were doing, that's going to sow distrust. And he developed a lot of distrust of me. And it fed a paranoia. And then when you engage in other things that feed that paranoia, it ends up being, and then that stresses me the fuck out. And then I get resentful and I get angry. It turns into a mess. And then you have both marriages falling the fuck apart. Look, sober, everything else, good guy. Generous man, decent man. The demons, they fuck you up. There is not one of us, there is not one of the four of us who, when we adhere to our best angels, are not good people. It's just that you have to appeal to those better angels. You can't live in denial and fight your demons. You got to give in, and you got to exercise those demons, and you got to appeal to your better angels. Honky with $1 says, what are the chances that April will burst through that picture behind you like the Shockmaster? My new My new co-host is going to shock the world because she is the shock master. And she falls over and the fucking helmet goes tumbling on the floor. Oh, my God, what a disaster. 280 away from today's goal. Trucker 18-wheeler with $2 says April is a little nicker. No, that's not. I did not say it like that. That is not what I said. Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats. Hey, nothing on the Streamlabs or PayPal, by the way. Let's go ahead and hook that up this morning, huh? Go ahead and throw a few bucks in. You know what I like to see in the PayPal is those big 20s and 30s. Those are nice. Those get that goal knocked down really, really sweet. But the Super Chats are fun, too. Thank you for all of it.